Hello and welcome to this webinar on using proximity searches in Intella. So what are proximity searches? Proximity searching is a way to search for two or more words that occur within a certain number of words from each other. So this is useful when you are looking for concepts that might be expressed by multiple different phrases. For example, if you did a regular phrase search for space theories, you would not retrieve any documents mentioning theories of space or theories involving space or other similar phrases like that. But if you were to do a proximity search and look for the term space appearing within a number of certain words of the term theories, you'll be able to retrieve many phrases formed with those words. So although our user manual provides some information on proximity searching, and we also have forum articles to help our customers, we still receive numerous support tickets from our customers in regards to proximity searching or searches that don't work. The most common issue that we see here is that when customers are not using the correct proximity search syntax. And that's normally from experienced users who have been conducting proximity searches and other tools. So note that there are several implementations of proximity search syntax. For proximity searches, Intella supports finding items based on words that are within a specified maximum distance from each other in the same text. The syntax used in Intella is similar to a phrase search. So in the example here you can see on the screen, we encase the search terms in double quotes, and then we add the tilde symbol at the end, and then the number or numeric value of the words that these two terms can be apart. So in this case, a maximum of 10. So in this case, this proximity search here would search for the term desktop within 10 words of application. So just a few more points about this example here. So it does not matter which way around these words are. So these words are sort of independently searched, and you could have desktop application within 10 of each other, or you could have application desktop within 10 of each other, and you would get exactly the same results. So there's a couple of examples here. If we had a document that had opened the application on the desktop, that would be found with this search term, either with desktop or application first, it doesn't matter. It would also use the desktop application to edit the file. So again, desktop application are in the same proximity to each other. Like phrase searches, proximity searches also support nested wildcards. So here's another example here. We have a proximity search and the word text or the term text has a multi-character wildcard. Now this can be the single character wildcard, so either wildcard can be used. And in this example, we would find documents that had Bill wrote a text, Bill received many texts, and Bill was texting. So that's because the wildcard is extending the word text there. So that's sort of a quick rundown of proximity searching and the syntax. Let's jump into Intella and just do a quick example. So this is a very quick example because proximity searching is kind of a basic concept. I want to find the word finance within 20 words of the word bookkeeping. So I have a proximity search that I've already set up here. Finance and bookkeeping are in double quotes, which is good. It follows by the tilde symbol and then the word count that these words can be apart, which is 20. So let's click on that, and that's run over my data set and found one item. And if I open that item up, I can see where the hits are here. So finance is within 20 words of the word bookkeeping. Now the contents tab is going to show you the proximity search and sort of how it fits within these words here. That doesn't quite work with the preview tab. So let's go and have a look at that and I'll explain a bit more. So when you click on the preview tab, we create a PDF of that document. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. And in this particular case, we have what we saw in the contents tab there. So finance within 20 words of bookkeeping, that's fine. But we also have another hit here, finance. And it's because we can't actually run a proximity search within a PDF. So in this case, Intella is running the searches, basically the word finance and bookkeeping, and showing them as hits in the preview tab. So just note that proximity searching is for the content tab only, and you won't see that in the, you'll see the hits certainly in the preview tab, but you may see other hits in there if those search terms are elsewhere in the text as well. So just something to be aware of. This also is the same for redactions as well, because when we create redactions, we're creating a PDF, so it has the same sort of limitation. Okay, so there was that limitation, and there are some other limitations as well. So currently phrase searches, I'll just clear that screen off. Currently phrase searches, you can't have them within a proximity search. So if I wanted to look for Jason Baxter within 10 words of article, paper, presentation, public, or report, and I run that search, I don't get any hits. And that's because you can't actually have a phrase within a proximity search. So you can't have the double quotes within double quotes, if that makes sense. Another limitation is that we get some tickets coming in through support where people have issues with performance when running proximity searches. And when we ask them for their proximity searches, we see that they're using very, very long proximity searches and complex, and they have wildcards on them as well. And when I say long, if you open it up in Notepad, you get like 3 lines or 4 lines of proximity searching. So that is a very, very complex and long proximity search, and that is why you'd have performance problems with that. And as workarounds, you can cut those down and make smaller proximity searches, which will run more efficiently and will probably be a lot better for your case and less risk of slowing your system down. So that can be done, or that can be sort of worked around that way. Working around this example here of Jason Baxter, if you have a case where you have to have a phrase and it has to be within a proximity search, well, it certainly won't work like this, but there is a workaround that you can do. So in this case, I'd first run a search for Jason Baxter as a phrase, because I know that my end result has to have Jason Baxter in it. I have one document here in my set. Let's just presume that you had, say, 1,000. You're looking at Jason Baxter's email or his documents, and you have 1,000 hits. I don't have that in my data set, but we'll just presume that that's the case. You would tag all of those hits. So in this case, I'm just going to call it JB. And then I'd clear that search off. And then we'd start with our, say, 1,000 documents that came up with Jason Baxter, and we'd run a required search, or what used to be called an include search. So what that means is anything I do from this point on is now only run over this tag here. And in my example, it's only one document, but if there were 1,000 documents, it will run over those 1,000 documents. Okay, so now the next step is to run 2 proximity searches. So one is using a single term of the phrase, which is Jason, and the other one is using the other term, which is Baxter. So let's just run that one there. So we're still searching over all of these other attributes: article, paper, presentation, public, and report, and within 10 words of Jason. And we get a hit here. So let's go and have a look at that hit. And in the contents tab, we can see here we have Jason Baxter, and we are within 10 words of report. The JSON Baxter is not fully highlighted, and it's because our searches only run over JSON. But we did filter the data set for documents that have JSON Baxter in them. Now, so that's sort of a workaround that would work, and that'll give you 99% of the results, but there is a limitation where you might get some false hits. And if we scroll down, we can see a false hit down here. Let me explain that. Let's pretend that we didn't have the word report here in this, this document. So we had JSON Baxter at the top, and there was nothing in close proximity for our other parts of the proximity search within close proximity to JSON Baxter. But down here, because we've run our search term just with JSON, we actually have a hit here for JSON and paper, which are within 10. So this is what you'd call a false positive. Now this would probably be very rare, but it can happen. So it's just something to be aware of. And that sort of concludes the demonstration and the presentation for proximity searching. So I'll have a look if there are any questions, and it does not look like there are any questions today. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending the webinar today on proximity searches in Intella. And if you have not done so, have a look on our website and our forum site for the next webinar and register for those. And everyone have a good day. Thank you very much.